Meeting of the Town Council. First thing I want to do is to welcome our new councillor. Lovely to have such. I've written down here, I sincerely hope that you find representing your wards a memorable and fulfilling experience. I'm sure you find it memorable. And we look forward to making the best use of the talents you undoubtedly have.
Have you drunk the water yet?
So, thank you very much. It's lovely to see everybody. So, without further ado then, let's get to item 1 on the agenda, apologies and reasons for absence.
Obviously, Sylvia Crowell is still heard from her recently, but I understand she's still poorly.
Is she?
So, I'll put her apologies.
Tagged on how many times she's not let us know.
I know that we have to run through, but that she did turn up to a meeting in May.
Even since then.
I think since then she's
That's
been
fine.
because I remember seeing the dog, I don't know.
Well, I'll have to check the 6-month rule, but obviously I'm assuming that the council is not going to invoke that.
Not at the moment, I think she's been up quite recently,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
No,
I'll
that's a good
check
point.
that.
Can we have a proposer to accept? Thank you. And a seconder? Thank you. We've got the vote.
Proposer, sorry.
Can't you see that? Phil?
Yep, I could, I was just writing. And tell Anne. Yep.
Thank you, that's passed then.
I think we have to.
I'm sorry? Oh yes, we should vote, yes.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Unanimous? Thank you.
Thank you.
Declarations of members' interest and applications for dispensation. Does anybody have any members' interest, pecuniary or otherwise? What was that?
A dog.
A dog?
No.
Okay, so that's
That's none.
That's none, thank you.
It's really nice, isn't it?
We have 2 agenda items here, number 3 and number, the update from the county councillor. So do we have any deputations from members of the public?
No.
No, thank you. And an update from the county councillor. We've had a little brief and I've asked him to keep it brief.
Yeah, he asked quite nicely actually. My arm will be fine in a minute. Okay, we'll keep it brief. I just want to talk a couple of things about the transformation programme, which is group speak for trying to live within our budget at the county council, which is becoming increasingly difficult. We're still not getting enough money in a central government grant. That's not just us, that's every county council and type of council around. And there seems to be no sign on the horizon that there's likely to be any increase in the grant. There doesn't seem to be anything coming out at the moment, say, from the present government. We have to take on board the fact also, secondly, very worryingly, is the increasing cost of social care. And again, sorry to whinge, but the government, like the one before it, isn't actually addressing that major sort of issue which impacts all of us. And unless we as a nation, as Rutland, come up with some sensible solution, I don't know quite how local government is going to continue in any form. Thirdly, locally, we want to talk to you and Uppingham Town Council about, I know, we're very brave, about town centre plans, town centre revivals, town centre enhancements, whatever we want to call it, because we all know we're not making enough of either Oakham or Uppingham. There are 2 main areas that we want to encourage tourism in, and anyway, for those of us that live here, it would be nice to have looking as lovely as possible. And I will say that in advance, your funding the Christmas lights is a major point of that. It really brightens the town up.
You've not seen him yet.
It always has done. And likewise, Oakham in Bloom and what they do and what you also do with your flowers. It's all we've got to build on the very good work that's been done, and we need to do it together. And I should now sit down. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this. There are no questions. Thank you very much.
I think there would be.
I would like to just add that I will be removing this agenda item. And that because we now have a much better and closer working relationship with the Rutland County Council.
Can I make
Yes, you can.
Councillor, you thanked us for doing all the Christmas lights and baskets and things.
Yeah.
Can the Rutland County Council help and contribute? Because it is the county town.
I admire your optimism.
Just a
I
request.
will put it forward, won't we?
Thank you.
Indeed.
I'll continue where I was then. Thank you, Councillor Brooks. So I'm removing it from the agenda primarily because we have a much closer working relationship on so many things, particularly the town centre and various and the UK SPF, etc. So, and we do have regular meetings with the chief executive. So, but however, if there are urgent issues to be discussed, then we'll put it back on the agenda. We just want a little bit of notice. That's all.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed. That closes that item, so we'll move on now to item 5, the minutes. So to confirm the accuracy of the minutes from the meeting held on the 9th and the 23rd of October.
I don't think you can.
Well, you can or you can't.
Well,
Is there any
so
edit?
because I'm only on one of them, I'm not in the
Oh,
other.
yeah. You better do it separately in that case.
Okay then, so let's start with the 9th of...
Any edits?
No.
Any edits,
Proposer,
amendments?
please.
Can we have a proposer, please?
Oh, yes.
You were there.
I was there.
That's okay. then.
Linda and Chris Clark are the only other
You
ones that
would,
were there.
you would abstain.
Would you like to
Because
second
we
that? Thank you very
went
much. Second those
So we
minutes, thank you very much.
Okay.
And we need to...
Pass motion.
Oh, I'm Chris next.
Can we vote, please?
Yes.
Those who were there.
9.
We haven't got that many here, have we? Chris, you were there, I think.
Adam Lowe, Chris Nix, me, Linda Chatfield, Chris Clark.
So, if I could show of hands to accept the minutes, thank you very much
That's fine.
indeed. It's unanimous.
And then the 23rd.
Yeah.
We're abstentions because we weren't councillors.
You're not all there. That's
No, we weren't all there.
23rd of October.
So that's Chris, Paul Ainsley and Linda. That's the only ones that were in there.
Yep.
Yeah, which is the extraordinary meeting, wasn't it?
Yes.
it was.
So,
Just call.
okay, I'll second. So who's missing? Chris?
Linda.
Yeah, so that, have both?
Yeah.
Thank you. Unanimous? Yes. Accepted. Thank you, everybody. Yes, it was, very short.
This one. These will not be published.
What's the 13th?
13, 11. Thank you. Because technically you have to do it from the council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So moving on to item 6, councillors' questions. No notification.
None.
Okay, thank you then. Moving on. The chairman and the clerk's report. So if I may, I'll do mine first. Thank you. So I've already said welcome to our new councillors. Thank you very much indeed. So I'm going to, for the duration of this evening's meeting and in accordance with Standing Orders Para 3I, and as chairman, I waive the requirement to stand when speaking unless you wish to do so. I detest the whack-a-mole principle where everybody bobs up and down. I think it stifles debate. So, as is my right, I suspend item 3A.
You want to
3I.
do that for all council?
Let's see how it goes,
Okay.
and then we'll take it from there. I'd also like to give you a quick diary of events that have happened. Do you want a copy of this at all? Will it help you? I'm speaking to the press.
Oh, okay.
Okay. For each of the following events, I represented OTC as Mayor of Oakham. So despite the fact I've only been tenure for a very short time, in post for a very short time, I have done quite a few things. So on Monday the 4th, went to the launch of the Ukrainian Rotary Impact Club of Rutland at the Catmost Club on South Street. That was a very emotional event, actually. I found it really, it's amazing, the attitude and the positivity for people who, and there were several examples of people who lost a husband only 4 weeks before, and there was a young girl who had lost her father only 6 months before. It was very, very poignant. On Wednesday, 8th of November, I met with market traders, and that was just an informal conversation just to let them know that we'd had the meeting for the retailers and just to speak to them and let them know that we are trying to actively engage. Friday, the 8th of November, was the Festival of Remembrance concert in the Pavilion at the Rutland Hall Hotel. Very nice, thank you. On Sunday the 10th of November, following a county service held at All Saints Church in Oakham, I laid a wreath on behalf of the town on the town's war memorial to honour the brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice for their service to their country. That was a great honour to do so. Monday the 11th, I attended the service of dedication on the grounds of Oakham Castle to commemorate Armistice Day. Again, a great honour to do so. Other activities, meeting with Councillor Brooks over coffee to discuss leveraging his social media expertise in promoting the town and inviting him onto the ESWG, which he hasn't yet accepted, but we'll nag him.
Should we just sort of, what that stand for again?
Economic Strategy Working Group, yeah.
I think I have to be appointed through a meeting to working groups.
I think,
It used to be like that.
Yeah. We should,
take advice.
So maybe on the next agenda.
it will have to be on the next agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because you've probably got a few more gaps we could fill as
Yeah.
well.
Yes, there is, yes. I also had a brief meeting with Councillor Buxton and the Oakham and Bloom Committee to discuss closer liaison, and I'm again inviting Councillor Buxton to become our Oakham and Bloom representative.
Oh, right, okay.
We did discuss it, but again, that's presumably got to come
No.
to.
No, if that's different, that's not going on to a committee.
Okay, so if you're happy to accept that as our
Yes,
representative,
fine.
thank you. So if you could record that in the minutes,
Yep.
that'd be great, thank you. It is a busy time of the year, as you're all aware, and we are preparing the town budget, and we're also progressing multiple projects. There has been the rumour mill has been alive and well, including refurbishment of the Church Street toilets. Now, we actually got the first quotations through from Edison's, the contractor which we engaged last night, wasn't it? That's where I received them. So we're going to bring that to full council for discussion and ratification, and hopefully we'll agree to proceed. The possible future dance studio building development on Royce's Recreation is progressing, and we are meeting on Thursday with Friday. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Meeting on Friday to actually discuss that as with the RCC planning committee, because as we have gone to pre-planning application. And also there's been a numerous festive season preparations. There's an awful lot happening in the office. So there's so much going on. On the back of the Oakham Town meeting that was organised where we had the retailers, that went exceptionally well. It was a really good meeting. And on the back of that, we are looking at things like perhaps a spring clean of the town. Again, it's just finding the money. We're looking at a whole series of other activities, one of which is the parking, which will come up later today, and other activities. And these have come directly from the retailers as ideas, so hopefully we'll be able to move that forward. Immediate, I think I've said this already, we're virtual meeting with RCC and OTC councils and Placemake are the consultants that RCC have engaged to actually look at town centre development. Well, we're meeting with a virtual meeting tomorrow, and that'll be with some of the, with RCC councillors and the like. And then we'll be immediately following that with a meeting with Hayley. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Hayley from RCC, but she's been helping, assisting us greatly. What's the problem?
No, just
It's assisting us greatly with the actual work that we're doing for Oakham Town Council. So we've got a meeting 11 o'clock tomorrow to discuss the inaugural meeting of the retailers, etc., and progress the ideas. Friday, meeting with RCC plans, already talked that. I'm going to wrap up now with just one very gentle reminder, if I may. The office staff are here to help, be it in-person visits, email, providing documents, but have asked councillors to balance this against the requirements of running the office. It is always helpful if possible, and it isn't always possible as council. You have the absolute right to come into the office and raise your queries, to arrange any visit, be it phone or email, and an idea of what it is you want to discuss, just so that we can balance the workload. But you have the absolute right to make that absolutely clear. Okay, that's me complete. Are there any questions?
Yeah, who's attending the meeting tomorrow?
With the placemate?
Yeah,
Well, did you want to come?
yes please.
Okay.
Is it online or is it?
It's online, it's a virtual meeting, yes. And then there's another one with Hayley, which I don't, you're welcome to come as part of the SWG.
Anybody is welcome to come to meetings. These are all informal meetings.
Yeah, just
And if you want to be involved, please either come through me or Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. We can send you the invite because
So it's 9 o'clock tomorrow is the virtual meeting. Have we got an invite?
yeah, we don't.
Yeah,
So you can forward that to anybody. Is there anybody who wants to join?
Yeah, just think
virtual. Do you want to join the virtual?
Yes, and the other one is that, because it's part of these ESWG.
It is,
It would
yeah.
be helpful.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then-
Obviously,
the 11 o'clock one's here.
That's a physical meeting
If
here,
you want to
isn't
join
it?
the 11 o'clock one, it's here with Hayley, Sally Ann, Councillor Sally Ann and Councillor Ainsley and
So-
myself.
What is the 11 o'clock
The
one?
11 o'clock one is to discuss the way forward for the town
Different
centre.
football, that's all this.
Wasn't that the group that they want me to be on?
Possibly,
Ask the chair
just
not
come
to.
along.
Sorry, what's the question?
Should I come to this 11 o'clock meeting if it seems to be town centre things? Isn't that the group that you want me to be?
We're sticking, yes, if you wish to come and, you're more than welcome to attend, Martin.
Yeah, I won't do
If
the
you're not a
Zoom.
member of the
I'm not
ESWG,
very good at Zoom.
Okay.
So I'll
Yes,
come at
by all
11.
means, come here at 11 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Okay, I've done. Any other questions?
No.
Perfect. Thank you.
Can I have a digital copy of that, please? Not now.
Digital, yes.
No, thank you, Chair.
Only if you come to send the invite.
And send the invite. Do you want me to send the invite?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to send the invite to Chris Clark?
Please.
9 o'clock. Well, that's going to be tricky. I'll try. Yeah, I can do it tonight. I'll do it tonight, quick.
Go on.
Yeah.
Right, it's over to you now to actually your report, please.
Okay, I'll try and keep it brief here. Okay, recently you'll notice that we had a period without phones, which is unfortunate, but that's because we've now switched to digital phones with Millennium. One of the big improvements, I wouldn't say the digital phone is a great improvement at the moment, but it helps. But the big improvement now is we've also gone to a cloud backup. We used to have a hard server which is sitting behind the audience at the moment, which was physical and therefore safety-wise. Yes, you're looking at it, Raymond, Councillor Raymond, just there, yeah. Was open to all kinds of possible theft and etc. But now we're doing Microsoft and we're cloud backup on a daily basis. So at long last, I feel we're safe. You can never say safe in this world, but much better than we were. I'll just give you some other updates. The defib in Princess Avenue was deployed 2 weeks ago. It's thrown up a few issues, but I'm not going to talk about the details of what happened in that. But basically we've now had it, because it needed to be repaired, serviced, and it's back live again now. So it was used 2 weeks ago. We've had issues with the street lights in Cuts Close, where the pathway is. One of the lights is out, that's being fixed. But also the Willowbrook, and Martin will know about this, the lights going down past the Willowbrook play area near the school, all of them were dead. We've fixed 2 of them at the moment because their technology is old. We're looking into changing them from sodium to LEDs.
Do they?
Sorry, it's okay. So we've changed over 2 of them. Well, I've got 2 bulbs working now, so it's better than it was. But we need to investigate changing the heads, and it would be the whole head over to LEDs rather than the sodium at the moment. So that's ongoing. We've got more soil income. You'll see it coming in. 100k has just come in because any new councillor needs to know over the next few years. Is 2 years, we will get up to 450k in SIL money from Rutland County
That
Council.
does include what we've already received.
So that's the community infrastructure levy, which thanks to Rutland County Council, and I use the word thanks, means on any major development in Oakham, we get a contribution from the developer. So that comes in, and recently over the last year and a half, we've had 150k. So that comes in, we have to spend it within 5 years. I'll use that words again. We have to spend it within 5 years or you lose it. So let's be clear about that. That needs to be thought about carefully. But I know that the chairman has that on board. We've just had a recent ROSPA report on our play areas again. So we're looking at any medium risk and getting a price for any upgrades that are needed. And I know there are issues in particular with Princess Avenue, Clay area, which we need to address. Cuts Close is not perfect, but it's okay now. The other thing I need to alert you of, and I know that Councillor Brooks knows about this, is the church wall around the church near the dog groomers. So that's the bit where the archery street lights are, is in desperate need of repair, and this is a significant, we've had one provisional quote, and we're looking at a significant sum of money into beyond 10k possibly, to refurbish this church wall so it's safe. So that is an ongoing issue which I'll have to bring back to this council at some stage. And then obviously we're working on the Christmas lights with the switch on, which the mayor will be at, and it's hoped that the Christmas lights switch on this year, it's hoped that all the lights will come on at once. No lights are going to be put on until the mayor pushes the button, or whoever he designates to push the button. So that's the idea behind it this year. So that's enough for now from me. I've talked enough.
Are there any questions? Martin, sorry, Councillor Brooks, you looked as if you were poised.
I nearly said something I shouldn't. It was to do with the lighting in Willowbrook off of the road which I live in. I think most residents are quite happy, I'm trying to put it in a careful way, that they're not actually on, because when they're on, it might be something to consider that they are maybe screened, that the park goes dark at night time, because you could say antisocial behaviour occurred in the dark for quite a long period of time.
Okay. Do you want to make a note to the office about what you think as a resident?
So if they had like you see in some areas, they have a metal plate which would then just screen it to the drive rather than...
Okay. Do you want to raise your concerns with a quick note to the office so that we can take them into account when we look at the alternative technology and get quotes?
Okay.
It can get a bit smoky, that's all I'll say at night time.
Right.
Thank you. That concludes item 7, if there are no further questions. Thank you very much indeed. Item 8, correspondence received. Nothing. Bank statements. Okay. So, anybody who wishes to speak on, I'm going to bring all three of them together. So, that's 9.1, 9.2, 9.3 and 9.4, unless we have need to separate. So, who would like to kick off for any questions they may have? Councillor Brooks.
I don't want to be first every time.
You are.
I am.
You're the only one.
Okay.
You're the only one that
The
raised
only one
their
who's raised their hand.
Well, I suppose it's because I'm new. I can work out most of the payments, remembering things and seeing contractors around. But I have a question for one of the payments made to somebody called Moores for £1,008. What was that for, please?
Auditor.
Okay, that's
The
fine.
external auditor.
So I had to look that up.
Yeah, well, now the other one is interesting because there's a total of £3,600 to pay to First Product Limited, and I googled them and they were like rescue equipment, but then I followed my papers and I had to Google it because I found a funny name for support wires was put as a reference, and the other one is the lady who works in the office. What does these payments relate to, please?
First Product Limited, is it okay if I answer that?
course.
First Product Limited was our previous, as Councillor Sally-Ann knows, was our previous contractor for the Christmas lights.
Right.
We reached an agreement with First Product Limited that because of the reduced budget we had for Christmas lights, we could not do Mill Street. Mill Street then approached our previous contractor and started negotiation. When we realised this was going on, we intervened because we felt it was a good thing for the council to do. We then, along with Hayley Nakugu from the council, Rutland County Council, worked to try, and this is part of the whole syndicate we're now building with the retailers, to make certain that Mill Street got its lights, and that's the 2,400. So we're paying 2,400 to First Product because they're using our old lights to make Mill Street work. And we've got no problem with that. It makes sense, economic sense, as well as right for the
Just clarify, it's coming from the UK SBF. And that doesn't-
obviously, with the help of Haley McCougo, we are taking that money back and we will push the invoice to RCC, who have a fund of revenue that we can, I nearly use the word dip in, but we can go to and get a repayment. So to Oakham Town Council, that 2,400 is nil, effectively.
Okay.
And the 1,200 you're going to ask about, that is, the wires that are there are already into old buildings. Potentially, First Product had the potential to take them all down, and we would have to then get the new product people, and they would charge us to put it back up. We therefore once again reached an agreement with First Product Limited. It came to council, last council meeting, to actually retain them where they were, because our new people, Mark Chair, said they were perfect for what they wanted to do, and there would be less likelihood of any issues with the anchor points that were already there.
Okay, but they were not very old, because Mill Street gets lights practically every year. Now, the issue I have on here is on your minutes from the meeting I wasn't a councillor, you've only approved £2,000, but that total expenditure is £3,600.
That's because obviously the £2,000 is for the lights. It is not for the centenary wire, which me and the chair.
Yeah.
But you've just...
Okay, I'll just make it clear, Martin, because you need to know the rules on these things. I and the chair have delegated authority. I have delegated authority up to £2,000. The chair and me and another councillor have authority up to £5,000. But we have to justify it here.
Yeah, that's not the issue here. I wasn't disputing that. No, the issue here is that you just told me that the lights in Mill Street are costing £2,400.
That's because
but last week's meeting or minutes says 2,000. So they are costing the council money at the end.
No, costing the council anything.
Well, if you're only going to get £2,000 and you've spent 2,400.
Okay, the issue there you've got is with VAT. So
And also, we're going to get that £2,000
we
back
get
off
the VAT.
UK SBF, UK
US
Special Provident Fund.
Complicated, but yeah, okay, I'll leave it as it is. I know exactly what it is now. I didn't know what it was because all I got was mountain rescue equipment, and I was thinking, where are the mountains?
Thank you for raising that. And to raise Councillor Brooks.
And then, that one other point, which I did try and I forgot to, in the previous meeting. Some people might remember that the previous clerk was reprimanded publicly for transferring £150,000 without authority of the council. It was around the time of the petty cash issue. And in this room, the chairman said, either way, the clerk has also transferred £150,000 without authority. So I was just wondering,
okay.
And also I'd like to know what the £102,000 is, please.
Yeah, okay.
And
once again, Chair, can I intervene quickly here?
Yes.
The £102,000 is the SIL money I just mentioned.
Okay.
All I've done is taken it from a situation where there was no interest. And if you look at the deposit account, over the page, you will see that £102,000 has gone into the deposit.
yeah, I can see that, but
So
what...
all I've done is transferred from the current account to the deposit account.
I think the point you're trying to make, if I may, is that you believe that should have been authorised at...
Yes, because the chairman sat there, your predecessor, and reprimanded the clerk in public. Not
Okay,
the previous clerk.
What, from
I
the-
believe it's in
between the-
financial regulations.
No, from current, it's all within.
Well, then he must have been mistaken, but it was, yeah.
We'll double check on that.
Okay,
We'll come back to
thank
it.
you.
Thank you. Any other questions or observations about the financial documents? Go ahead.
No, just to say thank you for the itemisation again on the accounts. It's useful to be able to see what the things mainly what they were. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Pleasure. Anybody got any other questions? In this case, I'd like somebody to propose that we accept that. Thank you, Councillor Wadsworth. And seconded by Councillor Clark. Thank you. Just have a vote to accept. Good, thank you very much indeed. I believe that's unanimous. Okay, moving on then. This is the paper that we brought because of potential fraudulent activity that occurred on our bank account, and I'm going to hand the floor over to the clerk, and we will to actually tell us the sorry tale.
Okay, let's be clear about this. This is obviously a serious matter, and this council has had serious matters like this before, but this obviously was fraudulent, an attempt by someone or some people to attack our bank account in a fraudulent way. I've put the first sentence as a bit of a misnomer because I've looked into it further. In the 3rd of September, and this has happened before, I'm sure some of the councillors around this table know this, a fraudulent cheque was paid in, was tried to draw £4,900 from our account. The bank account saw it and knew it wasn't from one of our checkbooks, and immediately on the same day refunded the money to the account. So 4,900 went out, 4,900 went in, which is why obviously to a certain extent I didn't notice it. I assumed the bank had made a mistake. No, they hadn't. You'd think they would have informed me a fraudulent activity had taken place, but they didn't. That was their choice. Then, so that was the first attempt by someone, and it's been done 2 to 3 years ago, I believe, and possibly Councillor Brooks can remember this happening under the chairmanship of Zoe. We had a similar situation. Adam Lowe remembers it. I've seen the cheque. It looked like a cheque and it looked like Zoe's signature, but it was not, once again, not paid by the bank. It looks like the same person, you can't be certain, on the 1st of October set up the direct debit. I spoke to the bank about it. We went, as soon as we saw this and saw some money disappearing from our account, we phoned up HSBC and went to see the manager in Melton. Unfortunately, this is an all too common occurrence. Once again, would you believe, please be careful how you use this to members of the public. All you need is once again a bank account details, sort codes, signature, and the way you can set a direct debit mandate on any bank account as long as you know those details. So it was set up on our bank on the 1st of October, then about the 9th of October, and you can see it in the documentation you've got from the bank details, eBay Commerce Limited, which is a cover, started drawing money from our bank. Luckily, we spotted it the day afterwards, and that's why we need to be vigilant about these things, and blocked it immediately. There is a thing called the direct debit guarantee, which means as long as you spot it within 60 days, would you believe, you have a guarantee by direct debit, you get the money back, as long as it's proven to be fraudulent. For obvious reasons, the bank account was suspended while we just sorted this mess out and took control again, just in case. The bank said, yes, it's just what they thought it was. And so we then got the bank up with me as a primary, Kathy as a secondary, and also allowing the chair to have an overview view of the account. So we then got it back to where we wanted it to be. I informed LRAC and talked to them. I informed the police, who did a fraud report on it, and I informed ICO. I don't care if a member, but I am always disappointed, and I think the public tend to get this disappointment, how little action you get from either the bank, ICO, or the police. It's just the state of where we are. Basically, the answer almost is, have you lost any money? And I say no, and that's where things go very quiet. So
Okay.
that's really where we are.
Are there any questions on the floor?
Can I ask, do we know how they got hold of the banking details?
That is obviously what was being debated by Councillor Brooks and ourselves. It's a common thing for us to display our bank account on the web, and to be honest, I've looked at other councils, they all do it because they just put it out. What we're doing as soon as we transfer, and you'll see my proposal as we transfer from the HSBC to Lloyds, is redact all sort codes and bank accounts. But the problem we have is this at council, we write one check, which is what I just said, that will reveal to the public or whoever gets it what our sort code is, our bank account detail, and it will have a signature on it. So when you write a check, and I'll say this to any member of the public, when you write a check, you're giving everything you need to do to get someone to be fraudulent on your bank account. It's horrendous, but it's true.
We will be taking additional security measures, part of which is going forward, we will redact the bank account number, we'll redact the sort code. We will also redact any signatures that go up, like 4 meeting minutes and the like, so that it doesn't prevent, but it does lessen the risk. Councillor Brooks, you waving at me.
Yeah, I because it's sort of on the subject of security of money, there are other ways you can lose, and one of the frustrating things is that, well, I'm thinking not going back too far, but the council has been told that it needs more than one bank account, because if the bank went down, you have all your money in one bank and you would only get 80,000 for each account that you hold. And I find it frustrating now as a councillor that I'm seeing that only one bank account's open. I can remember sitting at the back there and approval was granted by this council for the previous clerk to go to the Melton Building Society as a start to open an account. And I don't understand why it happens that nothing like that is being done. That's not a dig at the current clerk. He's new, so it's...
Martin, thank you very much for raising that. We have a new chairman, we have a new... We are reinvigorating, and your point is well made, and it's something that we will address to the finance committee and then make recommendations to council.
Because I think it got picked up in a past audit report that
there
were issues,
we can only speak,
and very recent past, last year I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we are looking at it, and we will address that, and we'll come back to full council.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions about this sorry tale? Go ahead.
Just make an observation that Oakham and Bloom and the Stroke Club and myself both deal, we all deal with Melton Mowbray, and frankly sometimes we have difficulty getting money transferred out and paid in and the rest of it. They're very picky, so it might be worth looking at.
Well, there's also
several banks.
I think Stratton is opening, or someone I saw with Unity Trust or something.
I did approach Melton Building Society. They said, be aware we are not a bank.
Exactly.
So,
Well, it's to put money.
if I may respectfully say that, unless there's further points, that the finance committee, when it's reformed, at the moment it's a little bit devoid of people. That was said in a nagging tone, and then what we'll do is we'll come back to full council with our recommendations to how we handle the issue of the maximum guarantee. In the unlikely event these major institutions should fall. What happened to all? Yeah, go ahead.
Just make the point here, Chair.
Councillor wants to speak first.
Yep.
I just want to double check that this is, we're not, we've now mentioned Lloyds Bank, but we were talking about going to Unity Bank. Has that now gone out of the equation?
What happened, to be truthful, when we actually got down to the nitty gritty of actually trying to transfer to Unity, we found that their core weighting system and actually getting the cogs in motion was exceptionally difficult. So we took that as an indicator that said that those problems may persist in the future. So we are recommending that we go to Lloyds, which, although not complete, has been a very much better and smoother exercise. So that was the reason.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
No one else knew your point. I'd just like to point out to Councillor Brooks, remember, we spend 250 to 300k a year. So I've just had some indication that there's a problem transferring between the current and deposit account. If every time we had, say, 3 banks, and I had to keep transferring funds across, and every time I had to come to council to do that, I'd be blunt and say I can't do my job, because that would almost stop me. I'm spending, you know, that's 250k a year I'm spending. I can't do that with 3 bank accounts.
There are other councils in the same position. We'll just investigate. We will carry out an investigation and come up with a recommendation.
I've got a similar.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of other councils are. So we'll see what they do and see what the best practice is out there. Thank you very much, Councillor Brooks, for your
Okay, so I'll propose that the council agree to transfer from HSBC to Lloyds Bank.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second then?
It's a start.
Which one? Which one are you picking?
All of us.
Let's go with Hannah, because I love the colour of the, sorry, Councillor. I love the colour of the jacket. And we'll have a vote, please. And that's unanimous. Thank you very much indeed. Moving on to discuss the waste bins and Chris, over to you again.
This will be quick and
Very
brief.
well.
Just for new councillors who are not here, we're in a unique position in Rutland, in Oakham, in that, I know older councillors know this, we do not own the bins, but we maintain the bins.
Thank you, RCC.
Thank you, RCC. So we have a list in front of us here that I got from an officer. We've checked through them. We've got at least 12 bins that need a replacing, and it's about £400 of replacement if they need to be dug out of the ground and put back in. I'm therefore looking for authority to try and replace them as soon as possible through RCC. That's basically it. Where our handyman can help and fix a bin, he will do so, but most of these, the 12 he's identified, are basically been trashed.
Yeah. What you're actually asking for is authority to spend up to 5k and then we'll come back.
Any questions? I'm more than happy to answer them.
Fine. Councillor Brooks, for a change.
Sorry about this.
Not at all.
One of the things I was slightly concerned about this was the bins in the town centre. Perhaps we shouldn't be replacing them, bearing in mind that I believe the council is thinking of improvements in the town centre, which might mean replacing all the bins with something nice, if you can get such a thing as a nice bin. But anyway, the other thing on here is the second one down. I think there might be a road error there, because I think the round bin is referring to the one outside the shop in Willow Crescent, opposite the school. That's always been an issue, the fact that it's a round plastic bin topped. I can remember when it was Willow Stores being pestered when I was on the council, get me a new bin. And it took months, if not a year, to get a new bin, and within a week people sit on it, stand on it and break it. So if they are going to replace that bin, which I believe is Willow Crescent, not Woodland View, because there's I don't think there's any bins in Woodland View, can they make sure that it's a nice square one that's
We'll
solid?
raise this with RCC, who actually provided the lists, I think. Yeah.
So that was all on there. The 2 points was was it worth replacing bins that the council might decide to use seal money or whatever it's coming from?
Town centre bins,
Chuck them
we'll
away.
take that into consideration when we actually, yes, thank you very much for your comments.
Okay.
Obviously, if it's badly broken and dangerous, then we are duly obliged to.
If there's a safety hazard. But other
Yeah,
than
well,
that-
the issue with the one at Willow Stores, or whatever it's called, Cost Cutter now, I think,
Yeah.
is that it falls down and then no one can put litter in it.
Correct.
Okay.
So it's not dangerous to anyone, it just becomes
Okay, thank you for your
unusable.
comment. We'll, can I have a proposer, please? Thank you very much, and a second. So that's, thank you very much.
Who are you taking? Which one are you taking?
Let's go with Councillor Nix, who's been so diligent in waving his hands.
And the vote?
Yes, please, do we have the vote, please?
Yep.
Thank you very much indeed, unanimous.
Did we capture Councillor Brooks's comment about the town centre?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, we did.
Thank you.
We said we would review it, and obviously, if it's dangerous, replace it. You know.
But the town centre bins would not be a high priority unless there's a safety reason to do so.
Yes, amazing.
Thank you very much. Item 12, the survey of the bowls and tennis clubs, if I may. I think I should read this time. Please not speak on this
It's
one.
my paper, but you're.
Yes, it is your paper, but I feel the need to speak.
I wonder why.
you know what it is like when you get to a certain age, you have to have your voice heard.
Is that my problem?
Yeah.
Your contributions are very welcome, Councillor. So the Tennis and Bowls Club, essentially what's happened is that we received a document from the tennis club looking at redevelopment of the tennis club and stating that the building was in a state of disrepair. We want to regularise the position, so we would need to carry out an inspection of both the tennis club and the bowls club and to determine whether both have been behaving in accordance with the lease and maintaining the property correctly. They have an obligation to maintain the property, and so the opportunity to actually, by getting this survey, it puts us in a good position to.
I thought we'd already done this.
Not the survey, we haven't. No, the trouble was the survey didn't actually. We feel that the survey wasn't adequate for the purposes. That was done some time ago, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it was.
Many years ago.
It wasn't a thorough survey. We need a thorough survey to see if it's structurally sound. It was a free
Yes,
survey,
exactly.
to be honest, and you pointed out issues with the tennis club in particular, I will be honest about it, that worried you. And so what we want to do is have a thorough structural survey to see if the integrity of the building is sound or otherwise.
And then we can determine what we need to do to actually maintain the arrangements with the tennis club and the bowls club. So by getting a lease, it's basically just doing the old inquiry, isn't it? We're just actually making sure we're doing things correctly.
So was
Any
the previous
questions?
one simply a visual inspection?
Yeah.
Previously, yes.
With me present. With me present, I was just there.
Go ahead, Councillor.
Brilliant.
I know, dazzled by your green.
I've used Smith's Slope before, so I'm really happy with it. I think it is only a visual inspection as well this time, so it might just be, that's what the letter says. So just to check that we know what we're getting from this. It says that they're not going to be opening up or intrusive, so that might be fine, but it is just still a visual inspection.
Well, it's also one where they will go inside and outside and where necessary go into the roof and things like that. So this is a proper structure. We had it done with Princess Avenue 5 years, 10 years ago, and it will be with pictures showing where they feel there are issues, where the structure is possibly, we don't know, not being well looked after because.
Yeah, I think we need to be. We have no idea what the state of the building is, but they have asked about actually improving the building and saying it's inadequate for purpose. So we need to establish the base and then we'll move from there. Go ahead.
I understand they have a very long lease on the tennis club, is that right?
Oh, you shouldn't have asked the chairman. You really should.
Disappointingly, that is a true statement. Yes.
If it's found that in fact they haven't lived up to their obligations in keeping the structure of the building in a safe condition, would that affect the granting of the lease for that period there?
We'd have to take advice on that matter should it transpire that actually they've not been maintaining their end of the lease.
So that's a legal thing, really.
Yes.
I believe so.
Okay.
And as councillors around here know, recently we had an electrical survey of both buildings, and surprisingly it became clear that one of the clubs had been doing do-it-yourself electrics, which was dangerous, if not could have had fatal consequences. So
That's resolved now though.
that's been resolved. We now need to resolve that the same is true, and that's part of the reason we're having this survey. We need to resolve and make certain that everything is okay in both of the clubs.
Okay.
Because one of them's had a lot of work done to it, but we don't know to the safety of that work.
Councillor Wadsworth.
Hey, don't knock my dad's work.
Sorry.
That's all right. I just want to say, because I've written it down here, because when I was reading through that letters that the tennis club had written, if we were to, I mean, it obviously doesn't count now, but because I've written it down, I just need to get it off my chest. If we do decide that we're going to refurbish the whole of the tennis club because it needs doing, I think we need to review the rent as well and make it more of a,
I think you
Really,
called me
really-
the catch-22 then, Councillor Woods, wasn't it? You
Yes.
were actually banned me from talking about that
You're
for
really
6
pushing the
months.
chair.
well, I did, but the thing was that I know that there's this covenant that goes with the tennis club, but if they want us to do all these upgrades and stuff, then I think that the rent should
I agree.
reflect it. That's the word I'm looking for.
I think in the fullness of time we'll have to get to that position, but at the moment we're just saying, what is the current, we're doing what is the situation, and then once we've got that, then we'll examine and move forward. And I so agree that, let's hope that,
Just need to
that actually
remind
it is in a good
you.
state of repair.
Sorry, Chair, but I just need to remind the council that it's only 2 years ago we reviewed and signed a new contract.
Can we just skip over that?
Yeah,
So I believe Councillor Woods was aware of that.
yeah,
Okay, so where we are right now is I just want to make a small change to the proposal that actually the
yes, I propose.
unplanned maintenance reserves, it's actually coming from the reserves, which earmarked reserves. So Councillor Woodworth is proposing?
I had something to say on
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed your hand.
Yes.
Was it up fully?
it was, yeah, but I put it back down when you saw Sally Ann Wadsworth.
Oh, I see.
Wadsworth, yeah. Well, I've read this, and well, it's all there. I don't understand why it's suddenly just become an issue when obviously they recently signed the lease. I object to them basically asking the council to fund what seems from the document is that they want the council to fund a new club. So why
You will
did
have
they-
the opportunity to vote on that one, should it
Yes,
come to council. At the
but-
moment, we're just simply
Yeah, but if I can,
acknowledge the correspondence and saying, let's find out what's...
can I just finish my comment?
Yes, of course.
Because I think it's important, for my opinion on that, is that it's not a public club, it's a private club. That's one thing I put down. There's no access, apparently, anymore to the public court that was supposed to be available for free to Oakham residents.
There is.
Sorry, I have to stop you there, Councillor.
And I think
Later on.
yes, I think the thing is,
Well, I looked on the website and I couldn't see it. Anyway, and
Councillor, can I
also,
ask you if it's particularly about the lease and whether we should proceed with the inspection or not, and the
Yeah.
other point was valid.
there's just one more point I'd like to add. They've been very open compared with a lot of people who come to the council for support. Very open and transparent. They have a lot of money. But they forget to put in there that Oakham Town Council actually paid for the roof to be re-roofed a few years ago and didn't charge them. And it's my understanding that they are responsible for the maintenance.
If for the moment your points are valid, but they'll come up later. If we can just stick to discussions about whether we should proceed with the survey or not.
Oh yeah, it's
Thank
very
you for your
complicated because it's so much information and I wasn't quite clear why.
Okay, we're just discussing the survey. Are you happy with that
Okay,
now?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can you just please repeat, sorry, Chair, where the funds are coming
It's
from?
coming from the unplanned maintenance earmarked reserves.
Unplanned maintenance.
I know, a mouthful, isn't it? Yeah. Happy? That's your question?
So that
Are we all
has
okay?
15,000 for a year.
Yes. And then when we get to the budget, we'll decide whether we need to top it or not. But there's a whole series of other discussions going on.
At the risk of sounding like a pedant,
Please do.
does this need to go tender? Do we need other?
Not for 3.5k, no.
Super.
It's a lot of money.
Okay, are there any other points?
I get twitchy at 10k.
Are they crossed or we're trying to raise one of them?
No, I have
Thank you,
nothing.
Father, sorry.
I'll wait to say what I wanted to say about
Thank you.
the
Okay,
key.
so if I could have a... Do you want to say something?
no,
Okay.
no.
If I could have a...
Proposal.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And a seconder. So that's...
Which one?
Councillor Williams is the... I did know your name. Is the proposer and...
Chris Clark. I think you're pointing out. No,
Chatfield.
Councillor Chatfield is the second.
no, in the chat, all right. There was so
Spread
many.
the love about is what we're going to do. And if I could have a vote on that, then please.
Councillor Brooks, are you
Abstention
voting?
or against?
I'm against.
You're against. Okay, so that's
Do you want that recorded or not?
I don't mind.
That's your choice.
it's your choice.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
if
they
you'd
just
like
say
to
pass.
record it, you can.
No, we don't.
No, it's your choice if you want to or not.
I was just asking if you want it recorded. If you don't, I'll just put pass. That's the rule.
Okay, so it's passed, and we're not going to record the fact.
No.
Okay, thank
Whatever
you.
the clerk wants to do.
Um,
I don't know.
okay, the next is the electricity contract for Church Street toilets, which you know are being refurbished, but there's nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that whatsoever. It was just me wittering, and we're looking at. Well, this is your paper, isn't it?
It is, but it doesn't have to be.
It is your paper.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's my pleasure.
Okay, those of you who've been here 2 or 3 years know there's been an issue with this contract, which is why I want it sorted this time. We don't want me or any other clerk signing up to this without your approval. So the choices are between these ones in front of you. Be aware that about 2,000 or 3,000 of this bill for the toilets is repaid because it includes the car charging that goes on from the toilets. We have 2 car electric, which we get a repayment from the company involved in that for the electricity that's used for their car charging bills. So forget about the sum here, it's more like 3,000, 4,000 sort of bill a year. Now the question you have to ask yourself is 2 questions really, I'll make it quick. Do you want eco? Do you want direct debit? You've got the figures in front of you of what it financially will mean to the council to go to the alternatives. And these are, I've checked, these are commercially reasonable figures that you've got in front of you. Right, no, I'm not the chair. Cool, what are you doing with your phone?
I'm just going to try. Can you subtract the 2 ones here so we know what the actual additional cost is from going from the
300,
standard to the eco? Go ahead.
400.
Just to ask for our eco option, which for those who, I would be very much supporting the eco option.
No.
Councillor Duthwaite, I bet you will be as well.
I've got a question to ask about those, but
So I was just wondering whether it's the electricity is guaranteed green or whether it's offset. Which
I
one?
asked, it's guaranteed to be green, which is obviously the ones that some people call green is a bit flexible and all the rest of it. But
By that process.
yeah, biomass, wind, solar is the ones I was told on the phone. I haven't got that in writing, but I trust this is a reputable firm, unlike the last one we had.
Does that answer your question?
So this is
So it's
obviously,
tricky
this
really
is total gas, and I should have
without
put this
us
as total gas.
about the-
Sorry, I missed.
Yeah,
What?
it's tricky because we don't want to couple it with the proposed suppliers.
Yeah,
But some of them are better in terms of they actually produce the electricity, so you're guaranteed that is actually the electricity you're buying, as in non-fossil fuels. But hopefully,
you've got to trust these companies. I'm with EDF or whatever it is, and they say they do eco. I know there are all kinds of blogs and all the rest of it which say how
yeah, it's
eco
whether
friendly they
it's
are.
buying credits, so it's offset.
Yeah.
That was my query, but it might be good.
Okay,
Yeah, that's for my interest, I think. It's still better than standard.
thank you. And Councillor Duthwaite.
my question was sort of the opposite way around, that standard for the council, standard is cheaper.
Yes,
Yes.
Are we sort of going green?
we have always have an aspiration. It's up to the council to decide, but there's obviously clearly an aspiration to actually be as green as we possibly can in our purchases. So, did you manage to do the subtraction for
It's
me?
about 400. Right, wait,
No, what is it?
Oh, you want the exact?
I do. That's why I was featured my calculator.
It's £380.
It's about,
Sorry, how much?
£390 more.
it's 400.
£390 more. Thank you.
It's about 10% thereabouts.
10.
Well, thereabouts.
Slightly.
Do you want
Okay.
it? I mean,
Go
it
ahead.
will vary.
I mean, if our green credentials are really strong, and I think £400 isn't a lot. But to pay for our reputation as a green council.
Valid point, thank you.
And it isn't going to be 400 exactly, because obviously some of that is car charging, so it will not be.
Councillor Williams.
I was going to find the climate pledge that we agreed as a council.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
we did.
remember that one as
So
well.
I've got it. So we did have a. If it's okay to share, is that all right, Chair?
Yes.
So previous full council agreed that our top level objectives would be, so we didn't get to the stage of action planning, but we did agree to reduce carbon footprint and improve resilience by reducing reliance on fossil fuels. And then I can share this for our new councillors. There's a few other bits as well, but particularly where it comes down to finances, it is something that we have to
Okay.
consider both sides.
Thank you very much. Anybody want any other comments? If it's okay with you, I'll do Councillor Brooks, and I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. I get very confused by the eco option offered by one company, because I've just had that offered to me at home, but I don't understand it, and I'm not stupid, because the electricity comes down the same power line. They're not putting me up a solar barrel or a wind turbine in my garden. So it's, you know, to me it's a very odd thing, because when I'm with E.ON, and they call themselves E.ON Next now in the UK, because we don't have any fossil fuel power stations now. But actually E.ON itself, no, it's closed. The last one was in Nottinghamshire.
No, we have
Coal,
lots of
yes.
ones.
Still got
There's
gas.
still gas.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm thinking of coal.
Yeah.
But
Plenty of gas.
there's something about it which is, I don't really
You're confused by how
understand.
it's supplied.
No, and I don't know whether the green extra bit is worth it. But to be fair, I like more than one quote. But to be fair to this, I wish I was paying those rates on my electricity at home, and I'm supposed to be getting the best deal, and I'm sure it's the
Yeah.
same for everybody else.
Okay.
That's very reasonable.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
This may already have been asked, but do we know how the green energy is being produced?
We,
That's the
as the town clerk said earlier, we had a phone call with them.
We
And
have to trust this company is Total Gas and Energy, which are a big company. They're not going to, I hope.
Do we want to postpone this till we get details
If
about
you want
what the eco
details, I can
means?
get you details, but all I'm saying is I was told on the phone, assured, this is pure green energy.
Can we get,
Then E.ON do the same.
I think, given the strength of feeling in the chamber, it
Well,
would be worthwhile getting something in writing from them as how the
If
eco energy is
you can
produced.
give me delegated authority to get written confirmation that the source will be green and their definition of green, I can then pass it to you and you can give me delegated authority to pass it if that meets your satisfaction as a council, if that's what you want.
I think that's what people want, so I would
Yeah.
propose that.
That's fine, well, don't need to vote on
So-
it, that's what's fine.
Well, we need to vote whether we're going to give you delegated authority.
If I get council's approval.
I get a bit confused myself over this, and they might say, whichever firm is supplying electricity, that their electricity is green. But is it not just going into the national grid?
That's what
No, no.
It's a separate grid.
Yeah, it is, but the tariff.
It's the same wires, but it's the way it's generated.
through those means.
Yeah.
That's how you purchase. What you purchase when you actually purchase electricity.
It's
is-
only the green bit of the electricity.
Exactly.
It's not like all mixed in together.
So
and you get what you get.
Exactly. You don't get different colours coming down the wires.
Oh,
With signatures saying this is from.
Oh,
Are you sure about that?
I was going to clarify, it's my area if you want.
Yeah. Well,
If you want, by the way, and I'm sure Hannah does this every day, you can actually see what's generated on the national grid and where it's coming from every
I
day.
could give you that.
So they can show, the national grid's clever enough that they can show how much is coming at this moment from wind, solar, nuclear. I mean, that's probably where Hannah has a bit of an issue because some people think nuclear is green.
Shall I tell you what the breakdown is right this moment?
Sorry, I think
So, then,
Gas is 72%, biomass is 18%, wind is 5.8%, imports 2.1%, and nuclear 1.6%. That's the breakdown,
as we
hot
speak.
off the press.
So it's still quite high on what you said, the fossil
So gas is very much up there.
Yeah, that's Peterborough for us.
Okay, so I think what we've,
I think I might be able to, Chair. I've managed to find Total Energies. It says that their eco-energy is 100% entirely renewable sources.
Correct.
So I would be happy with that. I don't know if that would still...
I trust you.
well, shall we, first of all, okay then, let's move straight to a proposer. Do we accept the eco-energy
Don't know if it was for the question.
proposal? Thank you. And the seconder, Councillor Clark this time, because I gave you last time. And Councillor Nix was, and can we have a vote, please? You abstain, or?
Hold on, how many hands are coming?
How many hands have we got up?
Oh, Hannah's
Oh,
halfway.
eco, I didn't hear the vote.
Sorry, eco. One,
More
everybody,
information first.
Well, you're entitled to that, so
Yeah.
it's passed. If you want
Oh,
more.
okay.
It's-
No, no, you don't have to vote with
vote.
it.
You can just abstain,
I'll
it's perfectly
abstain,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay. One abstention.
So
Do you want to look on that?
You can see, that's all you get, what is on the
Oh, yeah.
Are we ready?
Because you're saying that's what you...
Ploughing on as time marches on.
I'm not using your gavel.
Saturday free parking.
Should have said, by the way,
and
You're probably, I'm sorry for the confusion, because it's over the page, but obviously it says who the supplier is on the opposite side. The actual program.
okay, back to the floor, please. Thank you.
Alright.
These of you wish to have it, yes. So it's, what's proposed here is that during the month of December we encourage more people to use the shops in Oakham by having 3 free days, the 7th, 14th and 21st, of which those of you that are reading the paper, the 14th and 21st will be paid for by Oakham Town Council.
Sorry to interrupt, Chair, but the report author is Sally Ann Woods, but
Did you want to speak, Sonny?
No, carry on. I know you like to hear your own voice.
I do. But if you really, please go
Carry
ahead.
on.
Sure.
Don't
Yeah,
be
yeah.
rude to the chairman.
Thank you so much for that. I'm desperately trying to remember, there was nothing coming from UK SBF for this, was there?
No. Can't do
they
that.
cannot, the Rutland cannot refund themselves.
So what we're looking for is the fees themselves for the 14th and 21st will be 2195, as it says on the paper. I just want to point out that actually this was something that came out of the retailers meeting.
Yes.
Very strong, loud and clear, that they felt that this was, and I know there will be some questions to be raised, but it did come out of the retailers meeting and they were very much in favour. So what we're proposing is we pay for the parking those 2 days, we pop a Christmas advert in the local press,
Stanford and Mercury.
yeah, and that we print a banner to go on Centenary Field, which the town clerk's happy to wave so you can see what it's going to look like. Do you want to have a wave of that banner?
Oh, sorry, yes.
Do try to wake up, will you?
I know you can hear all
Isn't that
day.
wonderful?
You
Isn't it?
pass it round, there we go. I wanted it red, but Kathy wants it blue.
That's the town council colour blue.
Yes.
I think it's lovely and it's been agreed by RCC, so if we make changes we'll have to go back. But that's okay, it's entirely up
Well,
to
we
you.
have lots, yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So financially that's going to, as it says at the bottom, we have money from the band concerts left, that was the stuff that's actually done for cuts close, so we can actually pay it directly from there because it's unspent money. Go ahead, Councillor Nix.
Could I just ask that if this is passed, that we could also include it on the website, Facebook, socials, etc.
Facebook.
And to circulate it amongst the retail group, because I think they would share that vehemently.
Tomorrow, one of the things on the agenda is to say that actually we need to go back to the retail group with the information, the steps we've taken so far. And I'm sure, Councillor Brooks, you would love, should this be passed, to actually help us and promote this on social media as our expert.
Yeah, why not?
That was a resounding yes, I felt.
Party.
A hearty yes. Okay.
Are we allowed to comment?
I'll come to you, I
You send me
promise.
an electronic one, please.
Of course, yeah.
So without further ado, there are questions. So, Councillor Brooks. Actually, you want to go second? See if we can get somebody else to speak first.
Yes, please, because I don't. Then I might not have to say so much. Yeah.
Councillor Williams.
Just a query on the 266, including VAT, says UK SPF on this printout.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
reading
the
that.
banner, the banner, yes, correct, the
So is
banner.
that correct? That
That's
for
for the
that
banner.
we can
That's just for the
claim
banner.
I don't know
Yes.
why those banners are
From the
costing
UK.
Yes.
so much.
Okay. And we would
But
do
I'm
that.
not disputing.
We are
Yes,
doing
we
it.
would.
If this is passed, yes.
Okay, moving on round. Anybody else got any further questions? Over to Councillor Brooks, second for a change, isn't it?
Yes, that's nice. I wrote to Rutland County Council's parking thing because I did have some issues that were raised when I was a member of the public over this. Yes, sharing with the retailers is wonderful, but a lot of them then went to park all day because they weren't parking in the streets around, in the residential streets. And a lot of people then spend all day driving around and round, which we all see it in the town, looking for the on-street parking, which the council have told me they will be enforcing on that day. So I spoke to some retailers and said, what about the idea of having a 2-hour slot for people, which would make it fair because the car parks fill up. But unfortunately, the timescale to do that with the council is too short now. So I was thinking maybe it would be something that could be considered next year, rather than say, come and park your car at 8 o'clock in the morning and pick it up at 5 or whatever. It is an issue, but the other issue is it's great to see this because last year there were A4 posters attached with Rutland County Council logo and all sorts of bits and pieces and Oakham Town Council, and people didn't read it, and I was told that actually people paid on Ringo. I don't know if that's true because people tell you things. So somehow I asked the council, could they have banners that covered the parking meters and the notice about the payments so that people didn't ring Ringo and pay and know that it's really free parking. We can't do anything about the people who are going to park there all day. And the other thing is to make it very clear, if possible, and then I'm going to support it. I was a bit against it, but I've got to support it really, is that there's a total lack of knowledge from some of the visitors and residents that on a Saturday you can park in the museum car park anywhere. That includes the children's services spaces and also Rutland County Council's office, and they're all underused because everyone wants to park in Burley Road, Westgate or in the shop. You know, it's...
Okay, thank you very much for those
So that's
contributions. So what I'm going to suggest is that I was privileged that you forwarded your email of objections before the meeting to me so that we could, so that we weren't blindsided as it was. That's very kind of you. But may I respectfully suggest that you ensure the town clerk has a copy of that email so that we can actually keep it in mind so that we can actually make the amendments for the subsequent free parking. Yes,
Yeah,
and you're right about the advertisements about the other parking sites. It's not well known, so maybe that's something that the office could include in our advertisements in the press.
Yeah.
So I'd like to pick up the point about making sure that people know when they go into the car park that the car parks are free. Is something, as Councillor Brooks is saying, to put over the machines.
I think they did do that last time.
Yeah,
I think the problem was that the signposts didn't say that it was free parking.
Yeah,
So if they didn't go to the machine, when you do this whatever
Ringo,
you say,
yeah.
Ringo, you don't always go to a machine, do you? You just do it from, so I think it needs to be
that's the problem you have. Some
Well,
people
we-
don't car park,
pasted
they
on
just use it, they
on
just
the
do it.
signposts as well
We will
as.
raise this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because now that we've got, assuming we get the vote, then we can raise this tomorrow when we have the meeting with Hayley.
So it might be worth buying more of the banners and sticking those over the car park signs in the town.
Yeah, that's what I was suggesting. That
Are you
something.
saying that because it's free, the banners?
No, just
No, because actually the sign in Church Road should actually have a banner on it that says it's free parking. So as people drive in, they know it's free.
And I wonder if they should not have a date on it. Just maybe say for, I don't know, because you can't use Christmas these days, festive shopping. So then these can be used.
Christmas party.
I always do. If I get anything comes
just
to me,
sounds
I
good.
change it.
Thank you. What I'm going to say is that we will raise this at our meeting with Hayley tomorrow, and those are valid points.
See if we can get a few more signs.
Yeah, it's very important.
We'll try and make it.
And we need to promote it ourselves, do we not?
And let's,
Okay,
yeah.
so
let's be clear, could I just say, Chairman, let's be clear, this is the first real initiative between ourselves and Rutland County Council. It's been a long while, and we've done other things, but this is the first
Just
one.
because they've left.
No, it's not because they've left, this is the truth. We are now working formally with Rutland County Council to improve it for the retailers, for the customers, and this is the first of many initiatives where we will work together, and we're going to work on the toilets together. Council,
Okay.
Okay.
Stick to the paper.
Thank you. So can I have a proposer, please?
Yes.
Councillor Clark and seconders, councillors. Oh, I'm sorry.
Paper anyway.
that's her paper.
Yes, I'm sorry. If you're like that, if you're like all the time. You propose, and who's seconding? Councillor Clark? You missed out, I'm sorry. In the popularity stakes, I'm so sorry. And could I have a vote, please?
Pass.
Unanimously, yeah. Thank you.
Favourite subject.
Yes, this is really for information. There have been the rumour mill seems to be saying that we're going to be suspending things. This is talking about the, this is the toilets, isn't it?
Yes. Toilet.
So one of the things we did is when we entered into the contract that that 50% of the invoice needed to be paid when the 3 quotations were provided. That information came to us last night. So we have made payments on the 30th of August and 27th of September. They're still outstanding, the 25th of October, 4,920, which will take us at or about the 50% mark. So I'm really letting you know that we've got that money is coming through to be paid. And it says they anticipate the 3 tenders to be available. They are available, but we haven't brought it to full council because there isn't sufficient time for due consideration. Proposal is that council notes the professional fees payable to date. Okay, happy? Any questions, objections? That's it. Just
Well,
go ahead, Martin, who is to speak. Councillor Brooks.
you can't object to something that's already been done, I guess. But
Yeah, that's true. Okay, moving on then. Thank you.
can I just? I think I don't mind it going on the record that these toilets were built in 2009, and there was a huge opening thing. The mayor, the leader of Rutland County Council, and it was wonderful. Opening of a toilet. Oakham Town Council paid most of the money for building them, and it really annoys me because we don't own them. We pay a business rate on it, and we don't get any income.
Okay, that's well off piece, but the fact is that
we seem to be spending a lot more money on these things. That's what I was getting to. The council.
There is proposals that's in the wind that we will be gifted the toilets. Now, it depends whether you want to accept that generous gift from RCC or not.
Well, can't we just give them to them and say they pay?
It does cover the vote. That's still open for negotiation and nothing has been contractually agreed, but there are several things that are moving around saying that they want to gift us things, some of which might be viewed as a poison chalice, some might be viewed as a welcome gift.
Please don't go down the cemetery route again.
I'm not talking about anything that's not actually come to fruition yet. So that was to note, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
sorry.
moving on to item 16. Oh, sorry, Martin, have you finished?
Yeah.
I'm teasing you. You're so easily found. Empty shops on the high street. Item 16. Again, this money is going to be coming from the UK SPF. However, there's always the lag between the payments, so we will be initially funding any work. And because of the time scales, we need to move quite quickly on this, whereas UK SPF are not as agile as perhaps we would like them to be. We're going to be paying the money up front, and then we will get the money back. And the idea is quite simply, and yet to be finalised, early days, ideas for decoration of the empty units. So the empty units, if you think about strays, that is pretty depressing on the high street at the moment, just looking at those empty units. I understand they have now got somebody to come in, but we are in discussion with Rutland County Council, and again, something we did tomorrow about decorating or making the closed shops, the ones that are empty rather, more decorative.
Scenic.
Yes. So we're proposing that we allocate a maximum budget of £1,500 for this work, for the painting of the High Street, and as I say, the money, and we can put that in if you're worried about the UK SPF will be repaying that money. So it isn't, it's almost paper dollars just whizzed around to try and get it moving before Christmas. Okay? Martin, you look vexed.
I think it's good in some aspects, but I don't want, my personal opinion is I would not want the plastic wrap because it's plastic, and also you can quite often visit other towns where it's still there in the middle of summer and not relevant.
We will come back and let everybody know via email
Yes.
what actually has been
What I think would be nice
agreed with the artists.
is if we stuck with the idea of decorating the windows, whether that was a Christmas tree or things, and some community groups and schools were actually asked to do it, and individuals, because I would quite like to find one of the small shops, maybe, I think it's going to go to Otters again, and decorate it myself.
Would you?
Yes, I've got more than one Christmas tree at home and lots of lights.
Well, if I can just read the
so
paragraph
to make it a
underneath the picture.
community event.
Thank you very much for that offer. Worked and thought at a very early stage, but given the very tight timescales, approval of a controlled expenditure of £1,500 is necessary for the work to be completed in good time. And that's our issue. We've got a load of artists and budding artists with Councillor Brooks who are willing to do the work, but we need to try and get a wiggle on if we're going to try and get it done in good time for Christmas. So, in a lot of ways, you have to trust the office that will be suitably and rigorously policed, and it will be. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, I think it's a really good idea.
Thank you.
Rather than have just an empty shop
Okay.
just sitting there.
It's the retailers again.
Yeah, but I just wonder whether it's possible to use the empty shops occasionally for people who say want to display paintings or whatever. I mean, this is done quite often in other town centres, or whether the owners of the shops would object to that.
Oh,
Well,
No,
they do it down Mill Street,
They
because that
do.
one that's empty down there is full of paintings at the moment. So I think it depends on your landlord, because
Yeah.
certain landlords won't allow you to just stick a painting in their window.
Can we record that for the minutes so we can keep a track of what's been suggested, please?
Yep.
I'm going to go over here, now you come in third. which
yeah,
we've not
because a
experienced.
member of the public asked me to ask something and I forgot.
Okay. Oh, Councillor Clark.
I was going to say I don't know whether it's a shop, but what Rich has done, what was the Chinese restaurant in Market Square,
Yes,
is actually brilliant.
it is.
I don't know whether it's a shop or whether it's
I
just.
can't remember what it was actually, but you're right, it is lovely, isn't
It
it?
looks brilliant.
It does, thank you, yeah.
And if you get something like that in the shops,
Well, we have to get our creative wiggle on, don't we? We'll see what we can
Yeah.
do. Councillor Buxton.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Councillor Brooks' offer to decorate Christmas. I used to sort of go to town with Christmas several years ago, and I have lots of decorations, some rather large ones lit up, and the rest. If you want to liaise with me, because if there's anything you can use.
You're not talking a galloping reindeer or anything.
I am talking reindeers.
Are you?
Why not look in the
Sticking on
window?
roof.
In the window of strays, it would look lovely, wouldn't it?
I think, by all means, come along tomorrow, and then when we get to this point, you can put your comments in.
I won't be able to tomorrow.
Okay, well,
I will remember
I'll
that
give
for
you a ring.
tomorrow.
good stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
That is important because these were two retailers, and I said I would raise. One didn't want their name publicly, but they said, "What about pop-up shops?" So that's that out of the way. But the other person who doesn't mind being named is Debbie Oakes, who has a connection with what you had at Victoria Hall. Now there's an issue at Victoria Hall, and the gallery is not available as much as it used to be. I think that's what she said. And it could be that some of the more suitable shops could be used for pop-up galleries.
That's exactly the
Yeah,
point.
that's-
Yeah, and that's what but I felt I had to, because somebody specifically asked me to bring it up.
Okay, well,
But I
thank you for
had
that.
to.
Have we recorded that in the
Yeah,
minutes?
I mean-
Great, okay.
I mean, both me and Hayley have been amazed how difficult it can be to get a landlord to put anything up. Because obviously,
Yeah.
these are commercial people, not necessarily connected with Oakham, and all they're really interested in, I'm sorry,
Money.
is to make money.
But then
Okay,
a pop-up gallery would be
If I
willing
could
to
just pull a
pay.
hold to that conversation as well, please. And I'm looking at the time and thinking, gosh, I'm starving. And then, so what we'll do is, can I propose it, please?
What we're proposing?
We're proposing that the council starts a new working group, and I'm going to ask for volunteers, we've got one already. And then I'm
I'm
proposing
just
a
checking
second.
that bit because you didn't mention about the working group.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Just
No, I like to be kept in check. It's like being at home.
Is this where I point out it's Councillor Wadsworth's paper?
Yes.
it's got both our names on it this time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, so I've got a proposal from Councillor Nichols, and a seconder, please. Councillor Chatfield, and if I could have a vote, that'd be wonderful. Thank you. All those in support, that's unanimous. Well done, everybody. Thank you. Empty shop, and then the last one.
So what's the working group then? Who-
Well, it's going to be. Well, look, I'll ask for volunteers now.
Yes.
Councillor Brooks and yourself, Councillor
I
Wadsworth.
suppose.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. That'll do. Anybody else want to join that merry throng?
If I have time,
If you have time, when you're not canvassing.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't introduce.
Okay, next.
So the tentative working group is going to be Councillor Brooks and Councillor Wadsworth, and with a possible. I'm sorry, I will shut up.
You must
And then moving on.
mention political, it's where.
Oh, okay, be quiet.
Especially means two of the candidates are here.
Let's move on. So that we closed item 16. Thank you very much for that, and now move on to. Tell you what, I don't want to talk about dog poo bins, so it's up to you.
Oh, thanks. Don't you want to do that one as well as all the others?
You are the author.
That was the author on the others. Right. It has been noted that on Royce's playing field there are 3 poo bins. I understand these are no longer emptied by RCC, so if we want them empty, we've got to do it ourselves. But 2 of them are in a state of disrepair. Nobody really uses these poo bins anymore because they just put it in with the normal rubbish. And it gets taken away with the normal rubbish, which, because people don't want to just go in and get all the poo out of that.
It's an accepted thing, yeah. 'cause it's in the
But
bag.
anyway, so my proposal here is to have the 2 that are in a state of disrepair removed. We will still have 1 bin there, and we have got plenty of other bins in that area as well.
Okay, anybody wish to comment?
Rough idea of how close the other bins are to those ones?
Like somebody's been down there and took some photos of all the bins. Woo!
There are, obviously we don't want people to use
some of the
dog poo bins, dog poo in the play areas, but they're fairly close.
They're basically the 4 corners of
Okay.
but that's
Okay.
it, you can't take a dog into the park, so.
Chair, could I just put some factual statements?
Do you? By all means.
Let's get factually statements here. We have never had these emptied by RCC. They're on our land. That's obviously Princess Avenue, Royce's playing field. They have not been emptied by RCC ever. They've always been emptied, well, in this recent history. Yes, Biffa used to empty them, but we are no longer with Biffa. We are with Glendale, and I've talked to Glendale, and they have no issues with emptying the dog bins as is. Yes, Biffa have decided, it's a separate contract with Rutland County Council, to no longer empty dog bins. As I understand it, I haven't got the facts, these are rumours to a certain extent. You will see that dog bins have been removed around Oakham because Biffa are no longer emptying them. I don't know why, you'd have to ask Biffa why they're not doing that. I spoke to Glendale, they say they have no issue with continuing to empty the bins.
Under the current contract?
Hmm?
Under the current
Yes, under the
contract.
contract, which is a 3-year contract. Obviously, we have an issue with one of the bins. I will put it to the council and we would either need the handyman to do a lot of work. They're welded onto the post, they're concreted into the ground. So he would have to either dig them up or we'd have to get someone else to dig them up. He has suggested to me he would have no issue with taking off the weld, which is easy for him to do, he says, and refitting a bin that could be used for about, that would cost us, capital was about £200. So it's up to you as a council, if you request that these 2 dog bins are removed, or we will try with the handyman to dig them out, but he says they're solid as rock, was his word. So all I'm saying is you will be putting us to a situation where I may have to come back and get a contractor in to actually remove them.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So I'm going to go, Councillor Brooks, I'll hand this off first.
Absolutely.
These ones remained because a councillor asked for them to remain, but the council did take away all the dog bins from all its parks, apart from this one, and they didn't dig them out. In fact, if you go to that park, you can even find concrete where big bins have been moved. So my proposal, what I would like to see is that all those 3 bins are removed, because although the boss of a company might say he's very happy for his staff to empty the bins, they are absolutely disgusting because they're only being emptied once a week now because of the winter contract. I opened the bin, which was half full, just to check that it wasn't broken in the corner, and I was nearly physically sick just opening it. So I would support a proposal to remove all the dog bins, and this one, which is very well used, this picture was taken after I'd taken a picture, I believe, because there was complaints from residents because it is being used, which is wonderful. It was overflowing with bags of all multicolours and things, but pretty disgusting. So I would like the council to put something, because it's going to be very well used and if only emptied once a week, put one of these bins in the place of that bin, removing all 3 of the red ones, and also to remove that very, very old bin from the children's play area, because there's one councillor here, when she heard that dog poo gets put into bins, that's not very nice for the children to be playing with an open
You can't
bin.
put dogs into that bit, so.
No, but they chuck it over into there, because I looked, there were dog bags in there.
So are you, if anybody wishes to comment, or are we going to move straight to an alternative proposal? Councillor
Yeah, sorry, I think,
Clark.
I don't have a dog, but I take one out for walks every week. Bins are so important. But there are an awful lot of dogs around, so if we were going to remove bins, we really need to replace them with something instead, rather than taking away completely.
Okay. I'll come back to your proposal. Anybody else got any comments? And then I'll ask for comments about the proposal. And I think would you like to state your alternative proposal? Vote on that.
Well, the proposal is that the council basically just, if they can leave the pole, they could chop the bin off and throw them away like they did in Cuts Close.
Can't leave the pole, that would be helpful.
Or they can cut with an angle grinder to the ground, which has been done, which was what happened in Cuts Close. So anyway, my proposal is that they remove the 3 dog bins completely. And I don't think necessarily they all need to be replaced, because there are, like, I've forgotten how many bins are in that park. There are a lot of bins because of this reason. But I think if possibly 2. I don't think the one in the very bottom corner, which really stunk, which wasn't really used much, needs to be replaced, because they can walk a few metres to another bin.
Come up with your proposal, so
my proposal would be that we remove the dog bins, all three, and we replace the one by the green sign with one of these square bins, which are
the standard black bin, yeah.
and then there can be an additional which people can vote on, whether we replace the one which is on the corner by the car park near Princess Avenue building.
Okay, can I help you out a little bit here? Can we not just simply vote and say we'll remove, your proposal is we remove all three the existing dog-proof bins,
Yeah,
and that replace two of those
two of
bins
them.
with
But some people
the
may
standard
not
black
want
bin.
to replace
Okay.
two.
So is that your proposal?
Yeah, if that's...
Okay. So we've got a second deal with councillor Clark.
What budget would that come from?
We must be aware, and you
Oh.
are keen on this, that's a cost of about £800.
Okay, let's just get to the point where we agree on what we're going to do, and then we can come back.
And then what about this one? Can we put in there that we remove this one?
Let's just stick to the paper, because there is another exercise going on with the whole black bin scenario county-wide, isn't it?
Okay.
Town-wide. So we've got a proposer from yourself and a seconder from councillor Clark. So we'll go straight to vote then, please. Who supports the motion? Very interesting. Dog poo and motions, I thought that was good.
Bravo, councillor Lowe. Sorry.
Yeah. Right, so that's all, that was one
Against.
against. Okay, do you want that recorded? No?
Yeah.
So- Yes?
Yeah.
So everybody but, okay. Wow, thank you very much indeed. That was a busy old agenda, and I think we've covered a lot of ground. So thank you very much. My first, I'll expect to